Part 17 is Google Plus setup. I'm going to use my own account for this one. I recommend you do create a Google profile. So with just google.com and sign in the top right hand corner. Generally, people have a Google account using their own email, like a Yahoo or something. But I recommend you use your actual business email address to create a Google account that directly correlates with your website. For instance, if we're using, if my website is Memphis Entrepreneur Club, I'll create a Google profile using Memphis Entrepreneur or join at Memphis Entrepreneur Club as my login information. I don't necessarily have to create a Google Gmail address. I can use my own email address to create this account. So you'll go to plus.google.com and you'll see a trending and featured columns feed that has nothing to do with your use on Google Plus or your interest, because this is just by default. This is the public feed in Google. You can't delete it or hide it or whatever. You're going to click on Join Google Plus. By default, they'll fill out your information based on what you used when you created your Google account, unless you don't have a Google account, obviously. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to change my birthday to like January 1st because this is my business account, not my personal account. I'll change my sex to either custom or prefer not to say or something, whatever, just to kind of get it out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and click on, let me just see what options I have for the birth date. I'll go ahead and click on create profile. And it'll automatically pull over your picture. So when you go to set up YouTube, if you've done that already, you'll have a picture from your YouTube profile that's directly linked to your Google Plus profile. You'll have columns on the left hand side: profile, people, notification settings, things that you don't have if you don't have a Google Plus profile set up. First, we'll go over the profile, and I don't care about push notifications here. This has pulled our background image and our avatar from my YouTube channel, because when we set up our YouTube channel, which is also linked to Google and Google Plus, it asked us in Google what did we want to use as a background image and whether we wanted to sync it to our profile or not. I said yes. So we can go in here and add a tagline. In a second, I'm going to see if I can add a URL in this tagline and whether or not it'll be clickable. But your tagline is obviously whatever tagline you have that represents your website, because we're creating a Google Plus profile for our WordPress website. So you might be looking at these videos wondering, like, why the hell do I need to create a Google Plus? Why the hell do I need to set up Facebook Business? Why the hell do I need to do Search Console, etc.? Well, I recommend you do all of these, because when you go to actually publish blogs from your website, we're going to have a video later to show you how to sync those blog posts across all of your social platforms, so that when you post that blog post on your website, it'll automatically push those blog posts over to your social profiles without you having to log into them and share your blog posts. So we're going to go in here and just make some quick edits. We can add our nickname, which we don't necessarily need for our business. We can change our story introduction and our tagline. We'll keep that as is for right now. It's set to public by default. We've got our avatar and we've got our banner. Everything looks pretty good. We've got our Google Plus profile name. I want to see if I can add this URL in here somewhere, which it doesn't look like we necessarily have an option, but we're going to give that a shot in a second and see how that does. I'm just kind of browsing around to see what options we have as far as making updates, because this is a little new compared to what it was before. Now in the top right corner, we're going to go ahead and click on our avatar and click on Google Plus profile, and this will bring us to our public profile, where we can copy the URL from the address bar and save this as another link to put onto our website, right? So we're going to go ahead and click copy on that, because again, this is our public profile, the URL which we can add to our website as a social link. We'll minimize this, open our folder structure. Once you get your folder structure open, you want to go over to documents, links, and social. We're going to add this as a social URL, which we already have Facebook and Facebook Messenger. We'll add Google Plus now. and save this document and close it. So I'm going to double click this and copy it and open this up in a incognito window just to make sure this is the public profile URL. Paste and go, and boom, this should bring us directly to our Facebook or our Google Plus profile. As you can see, we're signed out. We've got a banner, we've got our avatar, our name, and our tagline. So again, with the tagline, maybe we can add a link. I see that there's an option to see posts, which we don't have any posts yet, but let's save and close this. Let's close our folder structure. And of course, we're going to do a separate video on extending the Google Plus profile with different features and how to link your WordPress blog post to automatically post into your Google profile. But we're not going to focus on that right now. We just want to get this set up and out of the way so that when we do get to linking all of our social profiles, we don't have to stick with the burden of setting up all these accounts in the future. This is why we haven't started actually working on our WordPress site yet, because you've got to do everything in order if you want to make your life 1,000 times easier. Just trust me. Just go through the rest of this course, follow all of the videos, and do exactly as I'm doing, and you will not regret it. Especially if you plan on posting blogs. Even if you plan on posting one blog every 2 or 3 months. Especially if you plan on hiring someone to post blogs, all they have to do is log into your WordPress site as a user that you can create, a user account you can create for them. They can post those blogs and it'll automatically publish those blogs across all of your associated profiles, right? So let's go ahead into our Google Plus profile. We'll add a URL. Right now I'm editing Memphis Entrepreneur Club's website. I might try to add the link, but it might not bring up any meta information because I've got the website offline. So if you tried to visit it, by the way, by the time you're watching this video, it may be online, but right now it's off. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to type in our URL in the tagline to see if this is gonna create a hyperlink from the tagline so that people can visit our website. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and add it in a post here in a second if this does not work. So again, my tagline pulls up. I can click on it, but does it go to my website? No. It brings us to the About page. Or it actually brings us to the editing. So we need to, again, open this in an incognito window. Paste and go. And let's click on it now. No, it just brings up a lightbox version of our page with photos, about, etc. Cool. So general information. There's no way that I can click this link. So the best way to embed this link, let me go ahead and actually delete it. But the best way to embed this link is into a post. We're just going to create a dummy post, which I'm going to delete, but just to show you as a reference of how to do it later. You don't have to actually follow this part of the video because your website is obviously not ready yet if you're following this as a course. But we're just going to go ahead and post our URL. I might actually use a different URL, but let me just see what happens when I, let me delete this. Add a link. Okay. It's going to try to load a preview, but like I said, I've taken my website. I've shut down the server temporarily, but I'm going to go ahead and add some text into the post. It didn't bring up any meta information. I'm gonna add a different link, so let's do the labelus.com maybe. And okay, so it might actually bring up the outdated meta information from our website because the website is offline, but the link that I'm using now is the labelus.com. And what we're gonna do is see if we can pin this post to the top, just as we did on Facebook on one of the previous videos. So there's the old information from my website. I'm going to click on post to see if I can pin this to the top for future reference. Again, you don't have to follow this section unless you've got your website fully designed and updated and meta and SEO finished. Otherwise, let's just see how this works. And you'll know how to do this after watching this video. Your profile is pretty much set up. You've copied your URL. We're just going to go ahead and pin this dummy post to our Google Plus wall, and then we'll delete it if it works. Otherwise, I'll have to find an alternative. So let's post didn't show up here. Maybe I need to refresh it. I accidentally clicked this, and this is where we change the settings. So this is not the right page. Again, let me open an incognito window and refresh. And boom, there's our post. So let me go back and refresh our editing window to see if we can pin the post, because it should show up once we refresh. Scroll down a bit. There it is. And this 3-dot icon, pin to profile. We do definitely have the option. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it now that I know I can pin this to the profile, which means it's just going to show up at the very top regardless of what is posted in the future, which gives people the option to click on the main website link first when they visit, no matter when they visit my Google Plus profile. So of course you can go and edit and make sure that your tagline does not have a link in it, and edit the rest of your Google Plus profile if that's what you're ready to do at this moment. And you just, we've got our Google Plus profile set up. We can move on to the next video. But again, I'll speak more on Google Plus in a future video.